Well, hello and welcome to the Healing Waters broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me on today. Wherever you're at in the world, we are thrilled that you are stopping by for a few minutes to get some inspiration, to get some hope, to get some encouragement, to learn and accept that you are not alone, no matter what it is that you're facing. So, we have a really fun topic to talk about today. But before I introduce that topic to you, I wanted to introduce myself. If this is your first time dropping by, I am Marie Kennedy Groves. I am your host for the Healing Waters broadcast. And I am a mom, I'm a glam mom, I'm a life coach. I am a creator of life experiences. I have my own company. There's just a whole lot of things that I do that are amazing, and I love every one of them. I say all the time that I absolutely love my life. I have designed a life that I truly do love. And I am so grateful for that. I'm grateful that I've had the courage to stand up and say, no, this is not working for me any longer in areas that weren't working for me any longer. And honestly, I stayed in a lot of situations way longer than I should have because I didn't respect myself enough. I didn't love myself enough to stand up and say, no, we will not continue to do it this way. But I'm here to tell you that through doing the work, and what I mean by doing the work, facing your fears, facing the emotional challenges that you have, facing your insecurities, facing all the junk that has gone on in your life that you've shoved under the rug and never really dealt with, brings us to the point in life where it's hard for us to make decisions. We don't feel like we're worthy. We feel like, well, you know what? We just need to just do the best we can. No, I'm not only going to do the best I can. The enemy, and I did a broadcast on this. The enemy of good, or the enemy of great, is good. I'm not willing to settle for just a good life, for just an okay life. Or it's been okay. It's been good. No. I will create an incredibly great life for myself and for any of those that want to come along and take the journey with me. So, on that note, yes, I want my kids to live a great life. But guess what? As the saying says, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I am that mother at this point that I've taught my kids well. I have taught my kids all the things to be successful emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically. I have modeled all that stuff for them. I've taught them, I've poured into them. But you know what? They have to want it. And they have to do the work themselves. So I'm that mother that, hey, they may not make all the best choices. They may make choices that veers them way off course. That's on them. They'll figure it out. But that's not on me. I will not accept that responsibility. I will not say, oh, what have I done wrong? Oh, why are they acting like this? Oh. Now, I haven't always been that way, but I am that way today. I have released myself from whatever decisions that they make going forward. They are now young adults, and they are responsible for their decisions, and those rest solely on their shoulders. And trust me, we've had that conversation, and they know that their decisions rest solely on their shoulders. Mama doesn't take responsibility for those anymore. No, she does not. So I will encourage you, if you are a parent and you have raised your kids and they might be acting a fool or they might be doing extremely well, that is solely on them. Applaud them when they get it right. Encourage them that when they get it wrong, encourage them that you can start over at any instant. Learn from the mistakes, but don't ever get stuck there. That's my message to my kids. So I hope this is an encouragement for you today. Release yourself. If you have young adult kids, if they are grown, release yourself from the responsibilities of what they do, right or wrong. That is solely on them. You have done your work. You have done everything that you've known to do with the knowledge that you had at the time. We all would go back and do things differently, but you know what? It is what it is. You can only do your best for today. All right. So that's a little bit about me. That's a little bit about my mental space of where I'm at. Maybe that resonates with you. Maybe it does not. But I love sharing that because it has been a journey for me to get to this point where I have been able to release myself mentally. So on that note, we're going to talk a little bit about cleaning the clutter from our lives. And, you know, everybody thinks that when we talk about clearing the clutter from our lives, that we're talking about physical things, like getting rid of things that we don't use anymore. And yes, that is all part of it. But who talks to you about cleaning the clutter from your life mentally? And we talked about an aspect of that with our kids. I just touched on that. Spiritually, the clutter spiritually, physically, emotionally, financially, and then, of course, personally. But isn't it funny that when we talk about clutter, the first thing that always comes to mind and what people always think about is things. And they can be things. Yes, I'm all about clearing things out of my life. But you know what's even more important is clearing the clutter mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially. I promise you that if we can clear the clutter in those areas, you are going to automatically release personally the things you've been holding on to you that no longer serve you. So that is what our topic is for today. Now, we are going to take a short commercial break and we will be right back. But I would suggest that you hit the subscribe button so that you never miss an episode of the Healing Waters broadcast, because we have fun on this broadcast. I'm very real. I'm very transparent. It's unscripted. I don't like scripts, so I don't go by a script. And we just talk. We just talk. If you would like to be a part of this broadcast, contact me. I will give you my contact information at the end of this broadcast, but contact me. I would love to bring you onto the broadcast to talk about a subject that is near and dear to your heart. Okay, stay tuned. We will be right back.
We all want the best for our children so that they can excel in life. But as the world around us becomes increasingly complex, the stress levels of our children are rising. Their attention spans are decreasing and their minds are becoming restless. How can we help them deal with this complex world around them and realize their true potential? The answer lies hidden inside the minds of every child. The Brighter Minds program unlocks the hidden potential of your child and makes them ready for their future. It uses the principle of enhancing the capacity of the brain and its reception to learning, using neuroplasticity, epigenetics, and entrainment bringing about a fine balance between the logical, analytical, creative, and intuitive processes of your child. Brighter Minds makes your child ready for the future. Give your child the right gift of brighter minds, the gift of a lifetime.
We are talking about clearing the clutter from our lives. So we talked about how normally when we think of clutter, we think of things like physical things, clothes, furniture, knickknacks, just the stuff that we think, oh, well, that's clutter. And it is. But can I propose to you that the reason that we hang on to stuff, it's not really about the things. It's not about the things. It is about, we are holding on to stuff mentally. We're holding on to clutter spiritually, physically, in our bodies, emotionally, financially. And what that does is when we hold on to those things in those areas, as a coping mechanism, we collect things that we can physically see and we can physically hang on to. I think about I know a couple. I know lots of people, but I'm going to specifically talk about this one couple that literally would throw away nothing. They would keep empty containers. They would keep, screws. Anything you could think of. They held on to it because they just thought one day they might need it. What if one day we might need that? What I learned is that they were raised during the Depression, when everything was very sparse and there wasn't enough, and it traumatized them mentally so much that they had never gotten past that trauma. So mentally, even though they had a lot of money, they had no need of anything, but mentally, they were still stuck back in the day when things were sparse and the money was hardly stretching, and they were so fearful of going back to that point that they literally hung on to every single empty container, every single screw. It was insanity. It was insanity. So when I talk about mentally clearing the clutter, all of us have a mental clutter that has accumulated over the years from childhood to now. And it clutters our mental capacity to think clearly, to make decisions, to be able to make good choices. It's the mental clutter. So, you may say, oh my gosh, I see that, but how in the world do I clear that out? You are going to need help to clear that mental clutter out. And don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed of how to mentally clear your mind, that you need help to mentally clear your mind. Get you go see a therapist or a counselor that can give you some tools and some ways to clear your mind. In this day and time, go on YouTube and Google how to clear your mind, how to declutter your mind, how to gain mental clarity. And I promise you, a bazillion YouTube videos are going to come up, and go down through, see what resonates with you. But if you've had a big trauma or some big things that have happened in your life, you may need more than just listening to different episodes on YouTube. You may need specific help to what you faced to figure out how to clear that mental space and that mental clutter in your mind. And don't feel like you're too good for that. Do the work to clear it, because I promise you, your best life ever is ahead of you if you can clear your mental space and become a mindset warrior on owning your headspace, owning what you think about, owning your mind. Not letting your mind control you, but you controlling your mind. That's so powerful. Let's talk about spiritually. Clearing the clutter spiritually. I don't know how you were raised, what religion you were raised in, but we can be taught so many things that, quite honestly, are just clutter. So how do you get back to the basics? How do you get back to what's really important and what really matters? Find you a counselor, a therapist, a spiritual leader that you trust. I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm just going to say this. Be careful about the spiritual leaders, because you can say, oh, well, I trust them. Guess what? There's a lot of spiritual leaders that I have trusted to that have monked me up in the head spiritually. And I had to literally clear out all the spiritual influence that I was trusted. And I had to learn how to get back to basics to trust my own North Star, to trust the God within me, that He leads me, that He guides me, that I can hear Him. I don't have to hear Him through someone else, that I can have the same connection with Him as anybody, any other spiritual leader, that He talks to me personally. And honestly, what I have learned is that what He says to me is really, really different than what the spiritual leaders that I had trusted in had been telling me. It's very different. So work it out within yourself. Trust that the one who created you, the God of the universe absolutely has your back. And if you will just get quiet and listen, you will have revelations and you will hear things that will blow your mind. But be prepared. They may be very different than what you were taught, than what you thought or what someone else told you. So that's clearing out the spiritual clutter. Now, we still have physical, we still have emotional, we still have financial, and then to get to the personal. But my time is up. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this over into yet another episode. And we're going to do part 2. And what I would like to do is continue this because I don't want to rush through these. Clearing the clutter in all of these spaces within us is so, so, so important. So if you would like to come on and be part of this broadcast, I would love to chat with you. You can connect with me through email is really the best way. You can reach me at mariegroves@healingwaters.info. You can reach me on IG at, what am I on IG? World_changer, the number 4 life. Or on Facebook, I'm Marie Groves. So connect with me. I am excited to come back and talk more about clearing the clutter in our lives, from our lives, and all of these different ways that we really don't talk about that much. You have yourself a wonderful day wherever you are at, and we will see you soon.